I get a lot of questions on thinners and how do we proceed with a thinner. Well, on a thinner, the standard straight solid blade is sharpened just like any other blade. And when we move over, we also have to decide, is it a thinner or is it a notcher, chunker, whatever they want to call them? Really, the width of the tooth doesn't have anything to do with that. What does is we're looking at these teeth, and if the teeth have a small V cut in the middle of them, then we're dealing with a thinner. If it's a solid tooth, no V cut in the middle, you can treat it just like any other blade and sharpen accordingly. But we're going to deal with the thinner. So we do the regular blade the normal way, and on the thinner blade, what we do is work it just a little bit differently. Now, I'm going to stop here and give you a brief history of the thinner. The old thinners were done at a very low angle, the old 4420s. They were done 15, 20 degrees, and they lasted forever. Well, in their infinite wisdom, they've started making high angles on these thinners. So don't be afraid to back off that angle a little bit if you're having trouble making one cut. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to move over to my machine and I'm going to show you what I do with this blade. Now that we're over here, the first thing I do with a thinner blade, if it's a convex shear, on the convex shears, I go ahead, I work the ride on that convex. What that will do is polish the bottoms of those little V's in the teeth so that actually gives you some sharpness there. Now, I know everyone says, really don't touch the face. Well, what I've found over the years is you really don't want to remove a lot of metal, but by polishing or removing a very slight bit of metal, you can get a much better cut out of that. Now I'm going to put it over here in the machine. And what I'm going to do, I do it usually on a 9-micron paper. I've just found that works really nice on the solid wheel. And I bring it down, I run it at a fairly low speed, and I've already set the angle, and you just do a quick polish on a 9-micron. Now, that brings up an ever so slight burr. The other thing you can do, if you happen to have the 9-micron diamond, it also works equally well. You can turn it on with the 9-micron diamond. You do a very quick pass, and what that does, it brings up a very slight burr. I don't remove that burr. I reassemble, and I see if they cut. Now, there's one more thing I want to cover. I'm going to go back over to my table. Now, after several times of doing this, you will start to remove those V's. Now, this is a tool I made. It actually cost quite a bit to make the single prototype. I really like it. You're welcome to have one made if you want. But what it actually is, it's a knife, and I made the width of the front actually the width of one of the diamonds in a 30 micron. So it's 30 microns across the face of the V on this knife. What that does, that fits almost perfectly in most of the thinner's little V's. Once you're in that V, you can do 2 or 3 strokes with the diamond, and it brings out that V again, and you haven't ruined the thinner. Okay, and don't forget to like our videos as well as subscribe to our channel. Next week, what we're going to do is cover the sticking tooth on the thinner.